Hi, third graders. It's Mrs. Strom here at home making some art. So sorry that we can't meet in our regular art class and that we're not going to be able to continue what we were working on. What we did last week was we were learning about an artist named Jim Dine. And if you guys remember, Jim Dine is an American pop artist who's still alive. And he's really famous for creating some artwork using some interesting shapes, right? And those shapes were shapes that everybody knows about, and that's why it's called pop art. So pop art is short for artwork about popular subjects. Who remembers what shape he was really famous about? Do you guys remember? Hearts, that's right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue a little bit of those hearts. We're just not going to be able to do it in the calligraph form that we were planning on doing. We'll revisit that another time. But for today, we're going to primarily focus on creating texture in artwork. So I'm going to show you different ways to create texture. Some of it you could do with printing, but it'll just be a simplified printing, okay? So the materials that you're going to need today is paper, pencil. Sorry, hold on one second. I'm okay, it's just allergies. Just to warn you guys, I have a cat and he is like really trying to get in here, so you might hear him meowing a little bit and scratching at the door. Maybe I'll let him in a little bit later so you guys can meet him. So anyway, the materials that you guys need are going to be paper and some color pencils or markers or any other kind of color medium that you want to use. It's going to be a little bit open for whatever types of media that you want to use, medium, and medium is just another word for materials in art. So let's get started. What you guys are going to do first is we're going to get a sheet of paper. Let me turn my camera down. All right, I'm going to be drawing upside down for you guys, so it's just going to look a little strange. First, we're going to fold our piece of paper, and this is just paper from my printer. So you can use this kind of paper, or if you have drawing paper or construction paper, that's fine too. And any color paper is okay. So I'm folding it so I can create 4 boxes, all right? Then I'm just using a pencil to trace those lines so I can see those lines a little bit better. Okay, and then we're going to draw 4 hearts. If you're not sure how to draw hearts, this is how I would draw hearts. So one way to draw a heart is start on the bottom and make a V. Okay, and then on the top of that, you're going to draw 2 curved lines, and then you just connect it all. So that's one way that you can draw a heart. Another way to do it is do the opposite way. So draw the 2 curved lines and then draw the V on the bottom. Okay. Another way to draw it is to draw just 1/2. And it looks like kind of like a candy cane. And then you draw the other half to match it. There's really no wrong way to draw a heart as long as it creates this shape. Okay, try to draw them nice and big in each box. And then the next step, what you're going to do is you guys are going to try to create different textures on it. Now, one way that you can create a texture is by doing a texture rubbing, and it's a form of printmaking. So you put something under your paper that has an interesting texture. I'm just using this bamboo paintbrush holder, and it's got a really interesting texture right there. So you just put it under your paper, and then you use a pencil or crayon, and the best way to do it is use the flat side of it. You don't want to use the point. So I'm just kind of holding it at an angle, and I'm putting medium pressure down while I am just filling in that space. And you can see how that texture is showing up. So like I said, use the side of the pencil if you're using a pencil, or the side of a crayon if you're using a crayon. This does not work with marker or paint though, unfortunately. This only works for dry medium. Okay, So that's one way you can create texture. Another way of creating texture is just by adding patterns in. So I can just draw different kinds of lines to create a pattern. And this is what you call a visual pattern. So I'm just creating different short lines in here to create this pattern. Okay, and then I'll just color it in lightly so that way it fills the space in. Okay. Another way to create texture is by doing a little bit of printmaking. If you happen to have markers at home, this is a great time for you to use some markers. I would recommend you getting a sponge with just a little bit of water on it. And what you're going to do is just dab your finger just a little bit so it's just a little bit wet, not soaking wet, just a little bit wet. And then with just one finger, just color it using the marker. And you want to use a marker that's water-based, not a permanent marker. So Crayola, Rose Art, Prang, those kind of water-based markers. And then you just make fingerprints like that. Just wetting it a little bit so that way it comes back. And then I can continue to do some more. And you see how I'm just using one finger. That way it's not making a big mess on each finger. So that's one way of creating a texture. This one, it's really hard to see, but you'll see fingerprint textures. Okay. I like this one the best because that one, it can be really fun. You can go around your house and do a texture scavenger hunt. With your parents' permission, of course, and see where you might get some different interesting patterns and textures around your house. Here's some other examples that I did around my house. Like this one I did on my wooden door, so you get a little bit of the wood grain. I did this on a piece of a flower pot that I have in the house. So I put this on the flower pot and then I rubbed that. This one was from my kitchen floor, so my kitchen floor has a little bit of texture on the tile. And this is from a wooden floor, so you can see how there's different textures working off of that. So you can do a little mini scavenger hunt around your house to see what kind of textures that you might have around your house. All right. So once you have created all of your different textures, then in the background, I want you to create a fun color background. Try not to use any of the colors that you've used before. All right. So for example, I used kind of a orange red on here. I don't want to use orange red for the background. So for the background on this one, it might be a good idea to use this light green. So I'm just going to color it in with this light green. And you want to try to create a different color and a different texture. If I'm going too fast for you guys can always slow down the video or pause and rewind wherever you need to catch up. If you don't have any of these materials at home, that's okay. You can just follow along with what I'm doing. Or think about how you can use other materials. You don't have to do this with color pencils or crayons. You could do this with regular pencil. So that box is complete. Now I don't want to use this green again for the background. I'm gonna use this orange for this background. And you see how I am coloring with the color pencil in just one direction. Coloring it in one direction helps make it look even. I'm trying my best to stay in the space, so that way it's not crossing into the other space and making that space look a little bit difficult to see. So I'm going to just continue coloring in these, and then I'll have my completed work. If you want me to see your picture, then you're going to want to upload your picture. Upload it to your Seesaw account through ClassLink. What you're going to do is on your Seesaw account, you're going to click on your name, and when you click on your name, it's going to drop down and it's going to have all your different subjects. You want to find the one that says visual art or third grade art. It should say my name on it, and you're going to upload there. And then once you upload it there, then I'll be able to approve it, and then even make a comment on it, give you some feedback. But again, if you don't have these materials at home and you're not able to make this, do as much as you can. Maybe you just have a pen or a pencil, and you can at least try to draw the hearts and create the visual texture by doing the patterns like I showed you with this one. Okay, but try and see, maybe if anything, go around your house and see if you can find different kinds of textures. When we return back to class, we'll continue working on the collagraphs, and next time I'll have another activity for you. All right, so hope you have a great rest of your day. Spend the rest of your time coloring your picture nice and carefully. Remember, good craftsmanship helps make your artwork look nice and careful, and it helps other people appreciate your work too. All right, so I'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day, and bye.